Welcome back. All right, so 3 games to review, and then whatever this was, and we'll get to it, and thus the garb that I'm wearing, because absolutely bonkers. But it did start off with kind of a normal hockey game. In fact, there are 3 pretty normal standard hockey games, and then whatever this is, and I'll do the timestamps because everybody's just going to jump to this here. All right. And you'll notice the score isn't on the board because there's another board right behind this where that game gets its notes finished. I realized after the second period, that's not all going to fit on this board. Oh, great. All right, Anaheim, LA. Dostal versus Kemper. There's an early chance for Lacombe. That gets saved. The Ducks press at 2.5 minutes. They're kept to the outside. The Kings draw a power play, and they score on it. At 4:46, it's Byfield, burying one from the slot. The assist to Kuzmenko and Fiala. The Kings press for another. Doughty has a slot chance. That's blocked out. Ducks press with 9.5 minutes left, but the Kings would make it 2-0. Danault roofs his own rebound at 12:23. The assist to Edmondson and Clark. There was no path to the LA net at this point in the game. The Ducks just not getting chances. We then get another power play for the Kings. They score on this one as well at 17:42. It's Foegele bearing a cross-crease pass. Clark and Danault with the assists. So Danault, productive in the first period. The LA Kings come out of that first period with a 3-0 lead. Second period, Danault gets robbed in the opening seconds. Kempe then has a rush chance. That's saved. The Kings press at 2 minutes. We get the Kings' third power play. Fiala to Kopitar, near miss there. That power play's killed off. 6 minutes in, the shots are 5-4 for LA. Fiala fires one high as the Kings get some pressure. The Kings then have a 3-on-2 that gets broken up. Ducks draw a power play. That's killed off. 2 shots on net during that. 2:36 left. The Ducks go back to the power play. This one killed off. No shots during that power play. It stays 3-0 LA after 2. Third period, the Kings would press at 2 minutes, and it's kind of a quiet third until at 6:52. Danault roofs one from the high slot. The assist to Dumoulin and Moore. So 4-0 goal. Little did we know that was kind of a key goal for the LA Kings. So the Ducks look to respond, but they're not getting shots. 8 minutes into the period, the shots are 7-2 for LA. LA didn't get another shot the rest of the period. Gudas has a screenshot kicked aside. Granlund has a wraparound that's saved, or was it? No. The horn sounds a minute later. When you hear the horn during the play, that means a goal was scored. So Granlund gets it over the line. McTavish and Lacombe with the assists at 10:20. And that seemed to fuel the Ducks a little bit. At 12:09, they score again. Leo Carlson scores from Troy Terry, and then the Ducks press for another. Kings press with 2.5 minutes left. They're not able to get to the net. And as soon as the Ducks have the puck and they clear it with 2:20 left, they actually... they're able to get the goalie out of the net, and then it becomes a 6-on-4 as LA takes a penalty. They score during the 6-on-4. Carlson goes crossbar and in. Granlund and Terry with the assists at 18:44. They pull the goalie again because it's what you do, and at 19:10, Chris Kreider scores for the Anaheim Ducks. Carlson and Lacombe with the assists. So it's a 4-4 tie. We go to overtime. Ducks control early. They end up getting a power play. It ends up being killed off. No shots again on the power play. Anaheim, one thing to watch for this season, if they're really going to take that next step, their power play has to be better than last year. Then at 4:26, Kevin Fiala ends it on a rush. He roofs it. Foegele and Doughty with the assist. So it's not the prettiest win, but it's a win to round out the preseason. The LA Kings win at 5-4 in overtime. Shots on net, 11-3 LA in the first, 12-6 LA in the second, 14-7 Anaheim in the third. And LA had the only shot of overtime. That's all they needed. Final shots 31-23 in favor of LA. Power plays, Anaheim 1 for 4, LA 2 for 3. The hits 33-22 for Anaheim. Dostal saves 26 out of 31. Kemper saved 19 out of 23 in the victory. Next up is the Colorado Avalanche and the Dallas Stars. So it's Wedgwood versus Oettinger in this one. Wedgwood would not go the whole game, but Oettinger did. Early jump for the Avs. There's a near miss for Sagan on a rush. The Stars press at 5 minutes, and at 6:15, Ernie turns and spins one at the net. It goes off Huru's skate into the net. So Huru gets this one from Ernie and Bastion at 6:15. Ernie did everything he could today to turn that PTO he's been on into a contract. We'll see what happens over the next couple of days for him. Stars draw a power play. That's killed off. Ernie's then denied as the Stars get some pressure. Stars go back to the power play. That's killed off as well. With 1:16 left, the Avs go to the power play. So after one period of play, it's 1-0 for Dallas. Power play rolls over into the second period. The Stars do finish the kill. Lindell then has the slapper. That's held. The Avs press at 2 minutes. Johnston's denied on a 2-on-1. We get some pushing after the goalie holds there. Dallas draws a power play, and at 3:59, Robertson splits the defense and goes 5-hole on Wedgwood. The assist to Johnston and Ott-Mtl. So nice goal there, makes it 2-0 in favor of the Dallas Stars. Stars then look for another. The teams trade rushes and turnovers. We get 2 minutes of 4-on-4. Game's getting a little bit chippy. This game laughs. Steinberg has a fight with Bischel. Pretty good tilt there. Again, this game has a chuckle. Kivirant is denied and close. The Abs end up getting a power play shortly thereafter, and they score on it. It's Nielsen from Olofsson and Brindley at 11:14, and the momentum's starting to shift. The Abs press, looking to tie it. Shots are 8-5 for the Avalanche with 7.5 minutes left. Johnston has a net feed that's blocked. Stars press in the final minute. Things get punchy at the horn, so we have 2 minutes of 4-on-4 to start the third period. In the third period, not a lot going on early. The Stars had the only shot on net 2.5 minutes in. We get a power play for Colorado. Steele has a turnover chance that's blocked. The power play's killed off. Good penalty kill. No shots on net allowed there. There was still just the one shot for Dallas 6.5 minutes into the period. Then there's a near miss for Robertson on a rebound. And at 14:11, Colorado ties it. On a rush, it's Olofsson wiring one. Nielsen with the assist. But Dallas would answer and get the lead back. At 15:37, Blackwell buries a rebound and close. Johnston and Robertson with the assists, making it 3-2 in favor of Dallas. The goalie pull would happen with 2 minutes left, and yeah, the Avs were not able to tie it. Dallas wins this one 3-2. Shots on net were close, 8 apiece in the first, 9-8 Colorado in the second, and 9-5 Dallas in the third. Final shots 25-22 for Dallas. Power plays, both teams go 1 for 3. The hits, 33-23 for Colorado. Wedgwood saved 8 out of 10. He was replaced by Miner, who saved 11 out of 12 after that. He takes the loss, though. Not that it matters this preseason. Ottinger, 20 saves on 22 shots. But yeah, Miner allows the game-winning goal, so he takes the loss, even though he allowed fewer goals than Wedgwood and saved more. But either way, now you do the reset. Miner, I would think, will be headed down to the Eagles. Wedgwood will be backing up Blackwood. Yeah, things will be fine. But yeah, so win for Dallas. All right, next up, Montreal and Ottawa. So when we expect a bunch of violence in a game, it doesn't necessarily happen. And in this game, it just didn't. Ottawa and Montreal playing a very professional game. Ullmark versus Montembeault. Cousins has a net feed that's picked off, and that's Dylan Cousins. Nick Cousins was held out of the lineup. Smart move by Travis Green. Shots are 4-0 Ottawa at 3 minutes. The Sens press at 4 minutes. They get some heavy pressure 6 minutes into it. Eller's denied from the doorstep, and then at 9:15, Pinto wires one. It's a 2-on-1 rush, and he wired it into the net. Sanderson and Kaliev with the assist. Sanderson had a fantastic game in this one. Shots are 10-3 for Ottawa at the half. Amadio's denied by Veleno. Nice save by Joe Veleno there. He's trying to earn himself one of those jobs that remains for Montreal's roster. 3:29 left. The Sens get a power play. That's killed off. The teams trade last-minute rushes, but it's 1-0 Ottawa after 1. Second period, Eller has a rush chance that's saved. Laine has a slot shot that's blocked out. Eller then has a net drive that's blocked. Zub defends a 2-on-1 pretty well. Kaliev has a net drive chance that's held. And then at 8 minutes and 20 seconds, Perron tips in a point shot to make it 2-0 for Ottawa. The assist to Jensen and Chabot. So Jensen back in the lineup. He gets an assist. He had some pretty prominent hits in this game as well. The Habs draw a power play. That's killed off. Montreal gets another power play. That becomes 26 seconds of 4-on-4. Everything gets killed off. During that Ottawa abbreviated power play, they managed one shot there. Sanderson breaks up a 2-on-1. Caulfield is denied from the side of the net. With 17 seconds left, Montreal goes to another power play. So it's 2-0 Ottawa after 2, but Montreal has a power play to start the third, which means that the Sens finish the kill early in the third period. Good forechecking then by Ottawa. There's a post for Chabot in close. Shots are 3-1 in favor of the Sens, 4 minutes in. Montreal presses at 5.5 minutes. They're kept to the outside. Arbor Jackeye with a turnover in his own zone leads to some pressure by Ottawa. Not a goal, but got to watch that. Florian Jackeye then gets a pass over to Blaine. There's a near miss there where they're trying to convert to get Montreal on the board. Gooley's denied from the slot. Things get scrummy on a hold by Ullmark. Jensen blocks a Gallagher chance. So there's Jensen with a shot block there, but Montreal would get on the board. Caulfield buries a rebound and close. You can't let him have a rebound that close. The assist to Slavkovsky and Suzuki, because of course, at 15:36, makes it a 1-goal game and gets the crowd really back into it. Blaine fires one wide on a rush. He's in the mix for one of those bottom 6 roll jobs as well for Montreal. The goalie pull happens with a minute and a half left, and at 19:16, former Hab Lars Eller hits the empty net. Makes your final score in this one 3-1 for Ottawa. Shots on net, 14-4 Ottawa in the first. Both teams had 8 shots in the second. Shots 8-7 Montreal in the third. Final shots 29-20 for Ottawa. Power plays, the Sens 0-2, Montreal 0-3. The hits 31-19 for Montreal. Ullmark saves 19 out of 20. Montembeault saved 25 out of 28. This game had 14 penalty minutes in it. So this is why when people are like, oh, there's going to be a whole bunch of fights, I'm like, maybe, but you never know. However, so final game I watched today, and the one that I've already seen comments on the channel about, like, I can't wait for his review of this. R8, let's go. Vasilevsky versus Bobrovsky. It is Tampa Bay and Florida. This is blood sport at this point. Thus the Dalek shirt, because once you see the score, you'll understand. The punchy Pokemon magnets on the board. I figured I'd just replace the NHL logo with it because I didn't have anywhere else to put that. This was... I don't know if the NHL should necessarily do something, but there were definitely players called up and put in the lineup by Tampa with the intention of doing this. Of running around on the ice and hurting members of Florida. I can't explain it any other way. And while I've heard that about other teams, Ottawa was being accused of that coming out of that last game against Montreal, I really thought there were some blatant penalties thrown by players who will not be in the lineup for Tampa Bay once the regular season starts. So if the Department of Player Safety decides to suspend somebody who's an AHL player, does Tampa lose anything out of that? The answer is no. So Duke has a net drive chance that's saved. Sabourin gets 5 in a game. So the second note on the board is Scott Sabourin getting 5 in a game. We know he's going back to the minors. So then it becomes 2 minutes of 5-on-3 for Florida. Well, you can't do that, so they score. Samoskevich scores from Loose Arena at 5:32. Schmidt, also a farmhand for Tampa. Not Nate Schmidt. Nate Schmidt's no longer in Florida. But this player, Schmidt, gets 5 in a game as well. So, out you go. So then we get 2 seconds of 5-on-3 to start. That then becomes 2 minutes of 4-on-4. Then we get 2 minutes of 4-on-3 for Florida. Most of the notes are penalties. All punchy with 9:01 left. That leads to 1 minute and 17 seconds of 4-on-3 for Florida. 33 penalty minutes in the first 12 minutes of the game. There's been 12 minutes played on the ice, and players have taken 33 minutes worth of penalties. So during the 4-on-3, Rodriguez buries one and close. Samoskevich and Lusterino with the assist at 11:54. On my board, I have a lot more power play goals than what the official score sheet says. I'm pretty sure these were power play goals. I know it doesn't matter, it's preseason, but Tampa just wasn't interested in playing hockey tonight. Bjorkstrand's denied on a breakaway out of the box. Mosier then boards Boquist, so he gets 5 and 10. So Mosier, he's the next one. It starts off 4-on-4, and then it's a 3-minute power play for Florida. During the 4-on-4, it's Studnicka who's trying to earn a job with Florida. He scores from Mott and Mikkel at 15:34. Mott, of course, on a PTO. I hope they give him a contract. Then we get 1 minute and 27 seconds of 4-on-4 again. It's a parade. Then we get 28 seconds of a 5-on-3 for Tampa. 5.6 seconds left. We get 1 minute and 9 seconds of 4-on-4. Or we would have. That's 45 total of penalty minutes. But we're not done. Everything gets punchy with 1.5 seconds left, and that makes it 59 penalty minutes in the first period. This one had 14 penalty minutes in the game. So, and I knew this wasn't going to stop. Once this got started, it wasn't going to stop. Tampa Bay's bench was depleted really quickly. Keep in mind, most of the big-name players for both teams not on the ice for this one. So, probably a good thing for Florida, although it was Ekblad that took the first, I think it was the Sabourin hit on Ekblad. Ekblad didn't come back into the game. So, if you're Florida, and if you come out of this game down Ekblad, and if Ekblad's going to miss any period of time, and it's farmhands that Tampa Bay called up before the game that caught, like, it's just, these teams meet again on Thursday. So second period, all was finally killed off, and I was like, oh, thank God, we're going to have some 5-on-5 hockey. No, 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 just no. It gets punchy again. Greer gets ejected. Greer got ejected for two things. First off, AJ Greer, you know what you're going to get with AJ Greer. You know AJ Greer could potentially go over that line too. But the way he was kind of flicking his thumb into the back of the head on Destus, I think it's Destus, and poking him and giving a little, not punches, but little, hey, you know, it's like little brothers and big brothers. You know, when the big brother's picking on the little brother, it's like, I'm not touching you, except he kind of was. He's kind of like, come on. It's just, yeah. So as soon as I saw that, I was like, yeah, they got to get Greer out of there. I think the officials wanted to calm this down. I think they wanted everything to stop, and it was clear. Basically, Tampa started it, and Florida was like, okay, if you're going to start it, we're going to finish it. And that was the mood that the game seemed to have. Gadjevich was very vocal as well at points during this game. I think there were a lot of players in both lineups who were willing to drop the gloves at any point in time if needed. So if Florida emerges with a power play, so Greer gets thrown out of the game, and Florida still ends up with a power play because of all the ridiculousness going on. So that was killed off, but then we get more punching. So Florida gets, by my count, their 65th power play of the game. That's killed off by Tampa. Shots are 3-1 for Florida at 8 minutes. So at least Tampa's not allowing a lot of shots, despite all these power plays being against them. Things get punchy again with 9:56 left, and then 8 seconds later it gets punchy again. So when I say it gets punchy, that means the whistle goes. You got these guys are punching. Then it's like it might be 5 players on both sides. Although this game I don't think had 5-on-5 play until the third period. Feels that way, anyways. And even then, I was like, oh, things are finally settling down. And then, nah, the announcers screwed it up. I was watching the Florida broadcast. They were talking about continuous play, and I'm like, you jinxed it. Sure enough. It starts as 4-on-4 for 2 minutes, and then Florida with a 3-minute power play. So it's another major on Tampa. And Petrie scores at 12:57 from Rodriguez and Balinskis. This is a point shot past a screen. Then at 13:19, these are all power play goals by my count. I don't care if they are or they're not. It's preseason. I don't care. Rodriguez scores on a rebound and close from Lusterine and Balinskis. And then at 15:49, Samoskevich scores from Mott and Petrie. This is right where they announce Ekblad won't return. So Florida's up by a lot, but the fact that there's the possibility that Ekblad could be hurt into the regular season, that could potentially be major for Florida, right? They're already without Barkov. They're already without Tkachuk. And if they're going to have Ekblad gone for any period of time, it really adds up. So Destus takes a puck to the face. I think it was a puck to the face. There's so much crap going on. 2:03 left. Tampa gets power play. Things get scrummy on a hole by Bobrovsky, so we get 1 minute and 26 seconds of 5-on-3 for Tampa. But Kucherov's not in the game. I didn't see Hagel. The big guns are in the game, so 5-on-3 is a lot less dangerous. And after 2 periods of play, it's 6-0 for Florida. So it's not like it's a close game and there's any concern about who might win or what might happen. We know who's going to win. Just get it over with. But when this game was going to the third period, this game was over. They started at the same time. So this is part of the reason why when people are like, oh, I don't think Shannon likes fights. It's not that I don't like fights. Fighting is it's part of the game. It's always going to be there. I've seen people say, part of the reason is regional estates is because of the fighting. Americans don't like the fighting. Are you kidding me? Fighting is so popular and people love it. And there's definitely an audience for a game that allows fighting. So we go to the third period with 31 seconds left in Tampa's power play. That's killed off. And then Florida gets another power play. They're, 178th. Copley and Tarasov were in the net to start the third period because this game had been going on for 6 hours. So Bobrovsky and Vasilevsky need some fluids. The Bolts killed that 15th power play for Florida. It's actually the 15th power play too. I'm not even being facetious there. Things get punchy at 4:01. Bjorkstrand, he's gone out of the game. So, the wheel of discipline had everything filled in, and then Bjorkstrand got kicked out, and I'm like, seriously? Oliver, you're going to do this to me? You're going to make it so I have to erase things off the board, mess around with it, because now you might get us suspended? Thanks. So, Rodriguez scores. I have these as power play goals. Sorry. Rodriguez scores from Petrie and Lusterinen at 6:34. That's from the top of the circle. That deflects in. And then at 8:52, Boquist scores from Kulikov and Mikkola. And then he didn't. I've never seen this. I've watched hockey since the early 80s. I've never seen this. It's never happened. It just hasn't. So that's the 8th goal. They came back minutes later and realized, and I don't know if it's the officials, and I don't care if it's the officials or the league that realized, but Mikkola was not eligible to be on the ice. So they threw him back in the penalty box and took that goal off the board minutes after it happened. My concern was they would reset the clock to that time and I'd be in hell. That was my concern, was that we'd start going backwards in time. And then there'd be more fighting and more. We're already down to the point where Tampa Bay does not have enough players to be out there fighting and screwing around. So that was a loose puck buried in close by Jesper Boquist. It doesn't matter. It doesn't count. Things get punchy again with 5:05 left, because of course it does. So we're going to go to the next board. This is the second game in a row between these teams to go over 3 hours. Boquist's goal is nullified right there on the board. We get 2 minutes of 4-on-4 out of that punching that was on the board before this one. Bolts had three players on the bench. Three. There were three. Now, Florida didn't have a lot of players on the bench either, but Tampa had three. John Cooper almost had to go and put on, skates and equipment and get ready to go on the ice himself. Somewhere, Rod Brindamore is watching this going, why? Why can't I have this happen so I can get on the ice and do stuff? This is where Tampa had three players on the ice with 3:41 left. It's a 4-on-3 for Florida. At this point, I assume Tampa's just taking penalties because there's not enough of them. It's the only way you can get a 2-minute break from being on the ice. Schwint was denied on a fast break, and that power play's killed off. It's a 7-0 win in favor of the Florida Panthers, but it does not, in the end, matter. The winner and loser does not matter in preseason. What matters is now you've got a team that's without Ekblad. Shots on net, 10 apiece in the first, 16-5 Florida in the second, 10-0 Florida in the third. Final shots, 36-15 for Florida. Tampa Bay did not come into this game looking to play a hockey game. They just did not. Power plays, Tampa 0 for 6. Florida 4 for 17. 17. I think there were 62 penalties the last time they showed it on the screen. I want to say there were 64. I don't care. I don't. I'm going to guess 64, 60, something ridiculous. The hits, 46-18 for Tampa. I think there were more punches than hits. The penalty minutes, 144-130 for the Tampa Bay Lightning. And Evan Rodriguez was interviewed after the game. He had a hat trick. Again, it's preseason. He said it wasn't much of a hockey game. When he was asked about how crazy the game was, he says, craziest game he's ever been a part of, and it wasn't much of a game. Because immediately, one of the first things that happens in this game is that a member of the Tampa Bay Lightning is thrown out for a dirty hit. And then another one. And then there's another one. And so, while I understand that there are people around the hockey world that don't like the Florida Panthers, and they're going to say, Florida's just getting what they give, I have never seen a team play like this. This to me, it was not much of a hockey game. That's why I had to put it on the board. This was just something. I mean, I'm kind of glad I watched it, because if I hadn't, I am sure the comments would be, I can't believe you didn't watch. You missed the best game ever. But it's not the best game ever. Because if you're a Tampa fan, they got killed. And if you're a Florida fan, sure, it's fun to win a game, but it's not fun watching as so many of their players, their head hits. These are high hits, head hits, boardings. These are dangerous, dangerous plays. So, as promised, this is the wheel of discipline. Now, I know that the blue ones you're going to have a hard time seeing. I'm gonna just get post-it notes for the blue one, but for tonight I wasn't able to find the post-it notes. I know we have post-it notes in the house. So I've got various fines, suspensions. Let's go ahead and see what the Department of Player Safety. I'm gonna actually spin this twice, because I don't think that just one thing's gonna happen. All right. So how's everybody feeling tonight? Everybody doing well? It's sort of like Wheel of Fortune, isn't it? Okay, Bjorkstrand suspended is the first spin of the wheel. First spin of the wheel is Oliver Bjorkstrand suspended. Let's see what the second one does. I hope I land on $1. It's not a dated reference. This Price is Right. It's still on TV. Sabourin's suspended. So the wheel tells me Sabourin and Bjorkstrand are getting suspended out of this game. So I had fines on the board. I had book thrown at Tampa. I had book thrown at both teams. That's what's on the blue ones. But nope. The board says Sabourin gets suspended and Bjorkstrand gets suspended. If that's what ends up happening, the board will be a place of prophecy. At any rate, there you go. I did not expect to be using the board today. I didn't. But there it is in all its glory. The one thing I do want to do, I want to have magnets on this so I can have the game that's involved on here. I can have the logos of both teams on the board. That's what I intend to do. So, or at least make it so that I can put the logo of the team that we might see a suspension with, all that fun stuff. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. This is absolutely the longest review I've ever done for preseason, and it's absolutely easily the longest I've ever reviewed a preseason game. So I really hope this doesn't happen on Thursday. Although, because Thursday is, I think it's a 14-game night, I will be using the new simplified version of the boards. But if it has that many penalties, it's not all going to fit in that one cell that I've got set up on the board. So at any rate, thank you guys so much for all your support. Hit like and subscribe in the event you may not have done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support for everything all the way through, the preseason now being done, and now the regular season gets started on Tuesday. So no hockey tomorrow, no hockey on Monday, which will allow me to do more stuff on the Entertainment Guy and, get caught up on whatever shows I'm not quite caught up on yet, because once the regular season starts, I fall behind on every TV show that I care about. But anyways, I will talk to you again soon.